And this one sort of found it yesterday. It's from a collection called "The Poetry of Black America," compiled by a guy named Adolf. It's suggested to me by a friend on Facebook, kinda. Again, she was going to know me when I was at tech, but again, life gets in the way of living, right? Anyways, I picked up a poem from it yesterday that really almost made me cry, right? Because it's written by a guy named Herbert Martin, and it's called "A Negro's Soldier's Vietnam Diary." And for its worth, I do. I'm a proponent of the American vision, but the Vietnam was in the 60s, 60s, 70s. I don't know, somewhere in there, and 60s. But the thing is that the African American, the black population in America was still being treated poorly, right? But again, we're fighting the war. And Vietnam was a particularly cruel war, right? And it just makes you think. And again, and this poem was probably like around that period, right? It makes you think how people can still be racist in this time. And that's why I don't take racism seriously. Not because I don't see its impact, but because it comes from a place of deep blindness, right? Like a deep ignorance, and that you can't reason with that, right? It's not reasonable, right? It's not worth dealing with, right? So again, there's some things that people say about the black population that is reasonable, right? There's some stuff that's reasonable, and even like other prominent black people say it too, right? Because there's some things that we can look upon ourselves and fix, right? And there's some things that, guess what, people are being unreasonable about, but this is unreasonable, right? To fight in some of this war, and to fight in one of the, because Vietnam was cruel, right? Vietnam was guerrilla warfare. It was like it was napalm, right? All this shit, and like women and children were dying, and it was just, and it was fought for religious reasons, right? We were fighting for sort of our ideology, right? Again, the thing that we put on a pedestal, right? And the things that the Soviet bloc put on a pedestal, right? And then we fought it again in somebody else's land, right? And that was an atrocity. And anyways, Herbert Martin fought on that, and this is his service diary. And if it doesn't make you step back and reflect as to sort of the horrors of humanity, but also the beauty that can emerge from it, then I don't know. I don't know. It's what to contemplate. Anyways, this is a Negro soldier's Vietnam diary. The day he discovered a mother and a child in the river, he wrote, they had been there a month. The water had begun to tear them apart. The mother had not relaxed. Even in death, she held to her child. I lowered my gun slowly into the water, walked away. My stomach screamed empty. There was nothing there. What little warm water I had would not pilot away the mud or stench. It was like a dead body we could not discover. Dead hangs on the rice. The ground is watered with blood. The land bears no fruit. Grass is an amenity. It is a luxury forever to notice so much as a flower. It is a luxury forever to notice as much as a flower, or clear water in a stream, bullets here kill with the same deliberate speed that they do at home. Fear destroys the thing it is unacquainted with. I never want to kill again. Do not celebrate me when and if I come home. I step around the smallest creatures these days. I am cautious to pray. I am cautious to believe the day will come when we can take up our sharing again with deliberate speed. Have you prayed lately for that? Ah, that was a Negro Soldier's Vietnam Diary by Herbert Martin. And that's a masterpiece. Holy shit, that's a masterpiece. Because again, it captures. Because again, I don't. If you read this, you go, holy fucking shit. Was this like, I don't know, was this one of the masters? And hell yeah, and that's the sad thing. Unfortunately, I haven't read many black authors because I don't know. I don't know. I don't know why I haven't. I don't know why I haven't. One thing I've listened to a lot of black musicians, and they captured the plight well enough, right? And I just haven't. But again, I'm gonna spend time with this anthology because there's some good stuff in it. Anyways, I do get the black plight. Well, mostly because I don't know. I get what it's like to be disenfranchised, to be treated poorly for arbitrary reasons. I get it, but I also get transmutation, right? And that's why I don't pity the fool, right? For its worth, I don't neglect the suffering and the pain that's been caused. But again, you have a responsibility not to pass the buck on, right? And this guy didn't pass the buck, right? This guy, Martin, suffered some tragedy, some atrocity. Oh, he lived in the worst and the best of times, in my opinion, for America. The best and the worst of times. But he persevered, and fuck yeah, I think he's still alive. And I'd love to meet him. Seems like a man worth talking to. Anyways, that was Herbert Martin, a Negro's Vietnam Diary, masterpiece.